All right, y'all. So let's talk about how the thought crimes are now officially here. This is a point that Crystal has been making, that the more desperate Trump gets, the more his numbers implode, the more authoritarian he's going to get, the more aggressive he's going to get. This is a man who cannot handle dissent. He cannot handle it. So let me walk you through this. Let's start with this. So the other day, Trump posted the following. The radical left Democrats are paying a fortune to have people infiltrate the town halls of Republican congressmen and women and senators. These great patriot politicians should not treat them nicely. Have them immediately ejected from the room. They are disruptors and troublemakers. You must allow your audience to know what you are up against, or else they will think they are Republicans and that there is dissension in the party. There is not. There's only love and unity. Republicans are happy with what is taking place in our country. We all love America. So the instructions there are, if somebody is grilling you at a town hall, if somebody is disagreeing with you, if somebody raises their voice, if somebody's angry about the destruction of our country, the instructions are, remove them. Kick them out. Kick them out. So in other words, he wants there to be a hug box in the town hall. He wants only people who will sit there and play patty cakes. Patty cakes, bakers, man. Bake me a cake. That's what he wants. He wants everybody to coddle the nuts of the MAGA Congress people. He wants everybody to sing the praises of his agenda. This is straight up North Korea shit. Now, by the way, of course, I need to point this out. The idea, the all paid protesters. My ass cheeks. People are furious. And you want to know why they're furious? I mean, pick your fucking reason. Elon Musk and Doge. Homie is cutting Meals on Wheels. He's cutting pediatric cancer research. He destroyed the CFPB, the anti-scam police. He's fired countless veterans and disabled veterans. So you have veterans showing up going, what the fuck are you doing? Now, I think they know, right? Maybe he's dumb enough and he's actually convinced himself that none of these people are actually against us. But deep down, I think they know. They've done so much damage in such a short amount of time. The trade war itself, prices are already going up and they're going to go up way more. People are over 100,000 government employees have been laid off. Now you're going to see private sector layoffs. Never mind the insane destruction of the Constitution and civil liberties and rights. No due process, no habeas corpus, sending innocent people to a slave labor gulag concentration camp. People have every reason in the world to be pissed. So what you're seeing is Democrats, Republicans, and independents all showing up to these Republican town halls and ripping these people a new asshole. Why? Because there's never been a party in human history more cucked than the Republican Party. They are pathetic loser bitches because they fall in line behind Trump. Doesn't matter how many polls you show them. Hey, bro, he's already a 39% favorability, which is the lowest in polling history at the 100-day mark. They don't look at any of that and adjust. They just fall in line behind Trump because they're all scared. They're all scared of him. And now his instruction is, if anybody disagrees, if anybody dissents, if anybody calls you out, kick them out. Now, can you imagine for a second for me, if this was any Democratic politician, what the reaction would be? If you had a Democratic president saying, kick out anybody who's a Republican or kick out anybody who's a Democrat and disagrees with you. Don't waste your time. Don't fucking listen to any complaints. Obviously, the only thing we tolerate is North Korean style heaping, fawning adoration. By the way, we're going to talk more about this in just a second, but this is the guy who pretended, I'm the free speech president. That's me. We love free speech. I'm saving free speech. And by that, I mean, you cannot disagree with Republican politicians at their town halls or you get kicked out. All right, so this is just one part of it, right? But it gets worse. Ready? Look at this. ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, promises bystanders who challenged Charlottesville raid will be prosecuted. After ICE raided a downtown Charlottesville courthouse and arrested 2 men, the federal agency is promising to prosecute the bystanders who challenged their authority. So let me explain this to you. In a courtroom in Virginia, an immigration judge dismissed a case of an immigrant. ICE was in the courtroom, and they physically and violently got custody of that man and arrested him. To call them Trump's Gestapo might even be an understatement. They don't care about what any judge says. They don't care. And they were asked, do you have a judicial warrant? And they said something like, we have an administrative warrant. That means nothing. Do you have a judicial warrant is all that matters. So now we're looking at a situation where ICE is threatening to bring charges against anyone who questions their anonymous abductions. So now, if you're a good Samaritan who knows the Constitution and cares about people's rights, and you go, hey, you can't do that. Hey, where's your warrant? Hey, this is illegal. They're saying, we're going to prosecute you for saying that. Under what law? Right? Like, and that's the thing. They don't care. They'll just lock you up, maybe keep you locked up for however long and eventually release you or not. Right? But they don't care about the law anymore. There is no law anymore. They say we're above the law. So this is quite literally, if you use your free speech to express disapproval of the anonymous abductions, we're going to lock you up. That's what they're saying here. And this creates a chilling effect through the country where people put their head down and say, hey man, it's got nothing to do with me. I'll just keep it moving. Right? That's what this creates. But then none of us are safe. None of us are safe in that scenario. None of us. So here, from the piece, Hingley has taken particular issue with the manner of the detention of the 3 plainclothes ICE agents captured on camera arresting one of the 2 men as he emerged from Albemarle County General District Court on Tuesday. One was wearing a balaclava masking his face, and none displayed badges or arrest warrants to the man. So, no warrants, no badges, and one of the people who illegally kidnapped and abducted this immigrant was wearing a balaclava covering his face. If you're doing nothing illegal, why are you covering your face? There is an all-out assault. There is an all-out war on the First Amendment, on free speech, on the Constitution. And the fact of the matter is, none of us should really be all that surprised because Donald Trump is the guy who, after he lost the 2020 election, he came out and said, we need to terminate, and I quote, all rules, regulations, and articles in the Constitution over his election loss. Terminate all rules, regulations, and articles in the Constitution. That's what he said. This is the man who wanted to invoke the Insurrection Act to deploy U.S. troops against George Floyd protesters and ask, hey, can I just shoot them in the leg? And thankfully, there were some reasonable voices that reeled Trump in at that moment. But guess what? The moment we're at now, nobody's there to reel him in. He's going to do anything and everything that he wants. So he's already been deeply anti-free speech, and now it's getting even worse. But again, shame on everybody who ever bought into the myth of this man cares about the First Amendment of free speech and he's going to bring it back in America. Shame on anybody and everybody who spread that bogus narrative because it was always bogus. You should have known that when he didn't pardon Assange and he didn't pardon Snowden and he didn't pardon Daniel Hale, the drone whistleblower, who's the reason why we know 90% of drone strikes get the wrong target. That alone was enough to say, clearly this guy doesn't care about free speech. He arrested 6 journalists and charged them with felony rioting when they were doing no such thing. He gag ordered the EPA and told them, you're not allowed to tell the truth on climate change. Mahmoud Khalil, Rumeysa Ozturk, he said, we're going to deport pro-Palestine protesters and detain them. They are literally doing that right now. If you are an anti-genocide protester, you're on the list. If you wrote a mild op-ed criticizing Israel, you're on the list and you are indefinitely locked up. That's what we're seeing already. That's what we're seeing right now. And this is a guy who, before he was even president, he was talking about how we need to, quote, open up the libel laws to sue journalists if they say mean things about us. This is a guy who sued Bill Maher for $5 million because Bill Maher told a joke about him. He sued CNN for over $400 million for calling his election denialism in 2020 the big lie. He wants to punish flag burning with a year in jail. All the signs were already there that this guy hates the First Amendment. He hates free speech. He hates the Constitution. He's going to wage a war on it. And now you see, oh, look at that. He's suing a pollster who came up with a number he didn't like. He's suing CBS for how they edited a Kamala interview. He's threatening to de-license news outlets that criticize him all the time. And by the way, a lot of these outlets are bending the knee. That's what they're doing. And so everybody needs to take the fucking gloves off and stand up and tell the truth and fight back. Because this is unacceptable. The speed at which they are moving. They are moving at breakneck speed, breaking everything, destroying everything, rolling the clock back on our rights. I mean, the fucking Magna Carta was 1215. He's trying to take us back to the year 1200. That's what we're looking at. So if you criticize a Republican at a town hall, you get kicked out. If you criticize ICE and their kidnappings and their human traffickings, you get locked up. They're arresting judges. How much more evidence do people need before they go, you know what? Okay, we were all wrong and this guy's a fucking demon, because that's what he is. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.